Welcome back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Except if you're a Leicester fan and you're hurting today, we'll wait for you to smash the button tomorrow. Also, audio versions of the show are available on Anchor, and if you want to contact the show, you will find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Lads, final day of the season reaction. A lot of very happy face here. I think every face on here tonight is happy. Even Spurs got a win. Graham, how we doing?
Very happy.
I'm all right, Niall. I'm all right.
Good. All right that you got the win, or all right that you handed Chelsea that spot in the Champions League?
50-50.
Ah, okay.
London is blue, my friend.
Would you like to phone a friend or ask the audience?
Ask the Dynamo. I'm here for you, Graham. Today, you're on the DPN Dynamo Podcast Network. It is my duty as a HR man here to give you the shoulder that you need to cry on and let you know that what you done today was a good thing, my brother.
Well, let's start. 4 o'clock today, it all kicked off. And about 20 minutes in, it was looking a little bit iffy. Liverpool were in control then, but had given Palace a couple of chances. Leicester had already scored a penalty to take the lead against Spurs.
You knew that would happen, by the way, didn't you? You knew Leicester were getting penalties today. You knew it was happening. And they weren't even penalties either.
I tell you what, when Leicester scored, right, and I was just seeing the stats in the Chelsea game, it was just a barrage of abuse. It was like Father Allen in the Brew Crumbling going after the kids. Right? And then I'm watching the Liverpool game, and I think it was Townsend breaks through for that chance. And I'm like, oh my God, Nat Phillips cannot run for his life. Do you ever see them yokes that do be out in the airport? It's like the orange thing that hands off to measure the wind.
Yeah.
The arsehole was like that. That's the way the arsehole was.
Absolutely.
You were like the inside of a prawn.
Oh, stop. I've never been as anxious in my life as I was today, up until we scored the second goal, because I was thinking to myself, Chelsea had that goal disallowed and then they scored, and I was like, Chelsea are going to get an equaliser here. It was 2-1 at that time, in the 2-2 in the Leicester game, and I'm like, Palace are going to score here. And then you get that sigh of relief when Mane scored. I think I woke babies out of a coma in work today.
Yeah, it was. As
anxious as you thought you were, my brother, you certainly weren't as anxious as I was. In fact, forget about anxiousness turned into possibly thinking, I can replace a 50-inch TV. It's easy.
They're not bad. They're cheap enough.
Yeah, but I was looking. When Leicester had scored and Villa had scored, they flashed up. You know the three
the little gimmicks at the bottom. Yeah.
And I was going Liverpool in third, Leicester in fourth, and Chelsea in fifth. And I was saying to myself, how the fuck did that just happen? You know what I mean? It's been crazy,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Up steps Sadio Mane, who is fair to say has been kind of missing for most of the season. But steps up, bangs in 2 goals today. And we didn't mind, of course. One of them nearly came off the arse of a Crystal Palace player, but who cares? It doesn't matter. It went in the back of the net and it was 2-0. So I think at 2-0, it wasn't a problem. We knew they weren't going to come back from 2-0 and that we had cemented our place. Graham, Spurs on a mad one.
Take it away, Graham, my brother.
Yeah.
Go on, son. Talk about your team.
Where do we start?
Everywhere. It was brilliant.
Everywhere. Like I said, when I was in work, I was checking my phone every 5 minutes, and when I seen that Leicester went 1 up, I was going, all right, the floods, the floodlights are gonna open here. They're gonna get 3 or 4. And then when I seen we got 1-1, I was like, oh, maybe a different story here. And then it was 2-1, then 2-2, and then I seen we went 3-2 up. I was like, fuck's sake! I said, Chelsea are gonna fucking get top 4 now. And then when I saw 4-2,
don't fucking annoy me now. Come on, be nice.
And then when I saw 4-2, I was like, that's it. I should be happy that we got a win, but it was kind of a mixed reaction from me. Reaction.
Well, at least I suppose at least Harry Kane got his hands on a trophy anyway. That's the main thing.
Well, you know,
That's all he wanted, wasn't it?
the main thing is Mr. Kane wanted to make sure that his future endeavours were sorted and that London was staying blue. Did he fucking...
Graham,
Just that,
like, the only good thing that can come out today is that you're the first ever team to qualify for the inaugural European Conference. Like,
all good.
I'd be
all
running
good.
around Tala the nip if that was me. Like, do you know what I mean?
Ah, we're on a
I
win
was
now
actually...
every week.
You know what, Graham? I said to myself, right, Leicester are going to get every rub of the green today. As soon as I saw, because I was watching it on the game, obviously you lads saw it as well, they had the box at the bottom where they show. And I said, Rachel was sitting with me, I said, guarantee you the first goal is a fucking penalty. I should have put money on it. And when we went into half-time, even though it was 1-1, I said, I guarantee you Leicester get another penalty. Boom. Leicester penalty again. That ugly cunt Vardy gets a fucking penalty. It's all he does nowadays is run around like a maniac and then score penalties. And I said, I guarantee you, the FA know fucking right that they want Leicester in there at all costs.
Yeah, just because everybody hates Chelsea.
Absolutely. But up steps the future Chelsea captain, Mr. Harry Kane, and comes in and says, fuck that, I'm not going to Manchester. Actually, it'd be more like, I'm not going to Manchester. And
Harry Kane, no, it's I'm not going to Manchester.
yeah, it'd be more like that. So the way I look at it is, it's either Harry Kane or Gareth Bale that's getting signed for Chelsea this year. I don't mind whichever one wants to come at this point. It's grand. You've done your civic duty. Brilliant stuff. And also, congratulations to Liverpool as well.
Absolutely. Before I go to
Oh,
Craig,
it's not reciprocated by you
No, it is,
bin
yeah.
dipping bastards.
No,
Fuck
hang
is
on.
that?
Before I,
Whoa. See the way Friday night you were Billy Big Bollocks telling Joe he was done. Say
Yeah.
bin dippers again and you'll never be on the upper tier, my friend.
Bin dippers. Sorry, Dino, you're the only bin dipper.
we have to be careful here.
We will take that.
Have to be careful here before people start getting called stupid and all. You know, we have to be real careful here.
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you what, if that's your trigger word, Dino, don't call me stupid and I won't call you bin dipper.
Let's talk about
Love
Ian,
you, bro.
Chelsea.
Yo.
What was your thinking? I mean,
Shocking.
at some
Fucking
stage
shocking.
today, you must have been thinking, here we go again.
Do you know what? Dino's going to be surprised by this, actually. I'm going to give you an honest fucking opinion. We didn't deserve it today. We deserved fucking fifth place. We deserved fifth place from that fucking absolute farce of a performance. From Azpilicueta, he should hang his head in shame. I don't think he should wear the captain's armband again.
It happens though, Ian. Do you know what I mean? He's probably been one of the best right backs in football for the last 7-8 years.
I understand, Dino, but there's
happens.
certain... I understand that, but I had a chat with my dad and I said, look, our last two Chelsea captains have been fucking John Terry and Dennis Wise, and they made Chelsea step up when the fucking chips were down. I have not once yet,
Ian,
but I've
John
not
Terry
seen
was right.
Azpilicueta do that.
John
when the
Terry
chips
was
are
driving
down.
his best mate's board. Cesar Azpilicueta never done anything like that. So, you know, it kind of levels itself out. Cesar Azpilicueta gets
Wasn't his best mate's board? His best mate was Frank Lampard. So this whole media spin. Oh, you're one of the Daily Mirror subscribers. I'm sorry, I thought Liverpool fans didn't trust the news media.
No, I'm nearly
Just
sure that
saying.
it was probably one of the most public things in football at that time.
Oh yeah, and it was all in the media, but there was never any proof. But it was in the media, though, wasn't it?
Never any proof. Craig Bellamy wanted to stick a glass in John Terry's face at a
Mate,
PFA award.
Craig Bellamy, the little Welsh midget, would have got his head boxed off him. The ugly little cunt would have got raped by John Terry in every way, shape, or form. He could bring 20 glasses and Terry would have slapped one on him. He's a little wanker. Fuck Craig Bellamy anyway.
No, I can't continue with this racism on the podcast.
Not on.
Exactly. White on white crime. How
Right,
dare
go
we?
on. Let's get back to the match, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, back to the match. Yeah, we're bringing all sorts onto these shows nowadays. I have to go back and check out what's going on with this network. Are Liverpool been signed by Arabs? I'm just wondering. Is there a celebration going on here down in the bottom right corner? Is there a Saudi deal in the works?
That's all. I'm just ready to go on my holidays, see Champions League. Hold on a second there. Just be quiet for a sec.
What have you got? Show us. Oh, you're boosting up next week, are you?
Sounds
Happy days.
so beautiful.
Happy
Sounds so
days.
beautiful.
You can watch that next week, actually. Yeah, so, no, but all joking aside, in fairness, Dino, good show. No, Azpilicueta, I was very surprised. It was very out of character, in fairness. Dean's right. He's been, like, especially since Tuchel has come in, like, putting him in, tucking him in that right centre-back position has been phenomenal. Once again, Tuchel today made a mistake by putting him at right wing-back. I thought it was stupid. I mean, I understood it against Jamie Vardy because Vardy's so pacey, right? Today, I didn't think there was a need for it. I don't know what the idea was behind it. I think Azpilicueta was getting found out. He was actually, do you know what it was? I was watching the match, right? And every time Azpilicueta, and it's not his fault, he's an older player and he's so used to playing in that centre-back position now that he gets his head in on everything and he gets stuck in on everything. His first thing is just try and cross, but he's trying to cross to nobody. Like, do you know what I mean? It was just shocking, but as for that, a shocker. Jorginho, I mean, there is a player that some Chelsea fans are saying should not wear the jersey again, to be honest with you. Gives away the penalty, shocking performance. Like, literally, I think he forgot who his manager was today and thought Sarri was on the bench again. Just this backwards pass and this negative football. And then dictating, every time he lost the ball, dictating to other players that have just won it back for him where to play it, and you're going, fuck off, mate. Seriously. Kovacic is only back from an injury. I thought Kovacic was positive, lost the ball a couple of times, but then again, he's losing the ball because his so-called midfield teammate is doing fuck all to help him, you know what I mean, in terms of communication. So it was a clusterfuck with Chelsea today. I'll be honest with you, we didn't deserve, I mean, it is a 38-game season, lads, so we can't say Chelsea didn't deserve top four because at the end of the day, it evens itself out over the course of a season. But I mean, if you were judging it on today, absolutely we didn't. But yeah, we got what we deserved over the course of the whole season. Like, we have to remember that. And it's very easy as football fans. That goes for Liverpool, Chelsea, and United or whatever. It evens itself out over the season. And like I say,
the table doesn't lie.
Yeah, it's a bit bittersweet for me. Like, I would have liked us to go in, and at least Dino was saying there earlier that, like, you know, you're expecting Chelsea to even get an equaliser or whatever. Even if we had got a draw against Villa, it would have made me feel a little bit better about it. You know what I mean? But having to rely on Tottenham to fucking help us win was. I mean, we can joke about it, which I'm going to.
Especially the way that like the way Chelsea and Leicester have been the last few weeks, like. Chelsea beat City, and then Leicester have the initiative, and then Leicester fuck up against Newcastle. And Chelsea beat Leicester, and you're thinking to yourself, when Leicester or when Villa go a goal ahead, and then Leicester go a goal ahead, and then Liverpool are 1-0 up, and you're like, is Chelsea
have a bit of fucking passion, right? Yeah.
Like, is Chelsea season really gonna come down to nothing? Like, FA Cup final, lose it. Champions League final, possibly lose it, miss out on top four. And the whole talk of Chelsea under Tuchel next season is Champions League football, bring in an extra 2 or 3 players. And like, the Chelsea are going to be phenomenal next year, I think. But like, you're sitting there looking and thinking,
it came down to that, though, is what you're saying. Yeah, you're right.
Like, if Chelsea miss out on Champions League football, it's a whole different dynamic to the Premier League.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, you're definitely not getting, like, I mean, he's right. Like, I was thinking that if we go into that next week, the problem I think with Chelsea, and the reason I kind of ball on Azpilicueta is because I don't think he's the kind of leader that can do what John Terry does, or what, say, like Gerrard or Keane does, or even Lampard, even when he was vice captain, does, lifts the fucking team. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know who your new captain should be?
Rudiger.
I'd agree with it.
Absolutely.
100%.
Rudiger should have been captain. I mean, to be honest with you, when Tuchel came in, Thiago Silva should be captain right now, just because of the experience behind it all as well. And then the next man, it gets handed down to Rudiger. Now, I hope next season that it's Rudiger. I mean, lads, you would agree with this, yeah? Captaincy isn't based on time served. It's based on fucking how much fight is in that dog.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
agree?
How vocal you are on the
Oh, yeah,
pitch, you
definitely,
know,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rudiger is very animating on the
Yeah.
pitch in his own right, like, you know.
He didn't put one foot wrong today. I looked at Rudiger and Thiago Silva today didn't put one foot wrong. Neither did Ben Chilwell. It was all on that right hand side. It was Azpilicueta and Reece James. Yeah, and it's kind of like, you know, Tuchel has to remember with Reece James, he's still only 21 years of age. Stop doing this messing about with his position and giving him a position so that he can actually become a fucking perfectionist in that position. Do you know what I mean? I understand the tactics behind putting the boy in there to kind of, because he has more strength than a Vardy and he's more pace. Grand. I get that. No problem. But don't do it then long term and then have Azpilicueta, who does look like an old man when he's running up the wings. You know what I mean? Even though he's only 31, it's not his game anymore because he's 31 years of age, but add another 4 onto that because he's not had many injuries. You know what I mean? So Father Time's actually catching up with him.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. No, but like, to answer your question, Dino was right. I'll be honest. Like, I know we have laughs on here, but no, based on this game, we didn't deserve anything today. But I'm glad we got top 4. And I mean, I think I'm not saying Chelsea don't deserve top 4 over the course of the season. I think we do, considering how well Tuchel did do when he came in.
Can I just say, regarding who deserves top 4 or not, you think about the season Liverpool have had, and you think about how Chelsea were before Lampard went. Like, for me, before Christmas, well, up till Christmas, Liverpool were thereabouts. But looking at the top 4, like, Chelsea and Liverpool are probably the 2 of the luckiest teams in that league this year.
Yeah.
I know we went out and got 8 wins and 2 draws in our last 10 games, but I'm celebrating tonight like we're after winning the league, because I said in January, I said we're not getting top 4. Like, this is absolutely huge for Liverpool Football Club to get Champions League football, to have the players that are coming back next year. Like, everyone's going on about Wijnaldum is leaving. Yeah, but like, everyone's going on about who's going to replace Wijnaldum. Thiago is going to be like unstoppable next year. He's shown it in the last.
I'd actually agree with that. I have to say, I think you know, I made a joke with Noel there a couple of days ago, and we were talking about like giving Timo time, like, you know what I mean, coming from the Bundesliga and stuff like that. Because in fairness, I have to say the one bright spark in that Chelsea team today was actually Timo Werner, believe it or not. Because regardless of goals or not, he chased every fucking ball that was about to go out for a throw in to Aston Villa and stopped it. Do you know what I mean? So that work rate doesn't go unnoticed. And you boys know that as Liverpool fans. Like, you love a player who's willing to work, regardless if he's going through a bad patch or not. And I'd agree with Dino there. We are probably 2 of the luckiest teams, but at the end of the day, Dino, you know, luck is for losers. We earned it. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, the table doesn't lie. Noel said it early on. The table doesn't lie. Like Leicester City, great, won an FA Cup, but I guarantee you now, if you could tell them, we'll replace fucking the FA Cup with a top 4 position for you to take top 4. So
yeah. I don't even have sympathy for Leicester, because I did say, I think January or February, Noel, if you remember, I said they'll bottle it and they'll fall away. Yeah. And I'm not even sympathetic for them, because they've been in the top 4 nearly all season, and they shit the bed again under Rodgers when it came down to it. So, you know, I've no sympathy for them. When it came to it, Liverpool knew the situation they were in. They went out and won 8 games and got 2 draws, finished the season better than anybody else.
That's true. That's true.
Shit the bed.
That is true. Liverpool, I have to say, right? And I mean, people are going to think this is a Chelsea-Liverpool love in here now at the moment. And like, but realistically, it's true. You know what I mean? It's the same with us. Like, I mean, we lost Lampard, our manager, which everyone knows. At that time, it looked like it was going to be a disaster of a season for Chelsea, and Dino alluded to that there. Like, we were thinking we'd be grand if we're in the top 8 and we'll just rebuild next season. Do you know what I mean? So to even be in the conversation of the top 4 from a Chelsea perspective, and I'm sure from a Liverpool perspective, because it was such a fall from grace. I mean, I remember being on this show with you boys, all 3 of you actually, Craig, Dean, and well, obviously Noel hosts it. You know, talking about Klopp, where's his head at and all this, you know what I mean? Because this is what the media were running with. And I have to say, like, 10 out of 10, lads, to Klopp to come back from that, you know, after losing his mother, not being able to be over at home in Germany and do his do his due diligence and all that stuff that he would have liked to do, because we all know German people are very proud people and want to kind of be there for the familia and all that kind of thing. Yeah, like I have to say, 10 out of 10 for Liverpool to come back from that, and they showed like champion spirit in that they did come back. So, people used to slag Arsenal for celebrating top four, so I didn't go over the top with celebrating top four. But at the same time, this is a little bit different.
I will gladly celebrate top four. Gladly.
Absolutely.
After the season that's been,
especially this season, yeah, for both of us, and I think both of our teams kind of mirror our feelings at the moment. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely,
we'll go back to hating each other tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. But for now, I love you.
Craig, come in. First of all, before we get into Liverpool, of course, we can't say enough good things really about the Aston Villa front three: Traore, Grealish, and Ollie Watkins. Absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, proper.
Have been most of the season. What you thinking on them?
I think it goes right through the spine, Noel, to be honest. I think it even starts with Martinez. I think he's been absolutely world class. In my opinion, I think he was the better keeper than Leno, and that's Arsenal's fault. So they're lost.
I watched him today. He's phenomenal today. Can I just say for Martinez, because I obviously watched the whole game, right? There was a lot of my uncle Mark, who, shout out to Mark, by the way, Noel, he's not in the best of health at the moment. We talked after the game, and I said, Mark, I love you. I said, but your health goes out the window now for 90 minutes. No, we talked after the game, and I said to him, Villa were kind of acting the bollocks a little bit, actually. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them were going down holding they were getting hit in the leg and they were holding the head. And it was like, because they're like hoping that the refs. I was like, what are you doing, lads? Like, you don't have anything to play for here. And I was like, obviously, John Terry's not getting the message through to tell them to shut the fuck up and play, get up and play. Like, but no, Martinez, there was one incident that I saw with Martinez that made me go, that is a fucking football player. I think Kai Havertz went up for a 50-50 header with him, and he actually landed on him with his knee. And then Martinez landed on Havertz. And the first thing I seen Martinez do when he went down, he actually grabbed Havertz's arm, like to tap him to say, are you all right?
Yeah.
And I seen Havertz tapping back. And you know what? There was nothing. The ref was about to stop the game. Martinez got straight back up, on with the game. Boom. Didn't even look for that kind of 7 seconds that the goalkeeper usually looks for to delay the game. Baller of a player. Grealish, he was a prick today, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean his modus today was obviously to get under the Chelsea player's skin anyway. I mean, that's kind of what he does.
He did it. Yeah,
and he did. And he did disrupt him. He did his job. Watkins is outstanding. I mean, he's
kind of like that Joe Duignan on the 4 Podmen, you know what I mean? He just gets you and then you go, oh my God, man, you got me. No, but
I know
how about Villa's defense today, lads?
Konsa is gonna be, I know everyone probably talks up Tyrone Mings, but Konsa is, if not better.
He was quality, man. And you know
John
what?
McGinn as well, very, very underrated.
And that's John Terry's job in there now. You can see John Terry's fucking influence wreaking, like proper influence in that back line. Villa's defense looked absolutely phenomenal. Their lines were just perfect. It was. I thought Villa were very, very impressive today, lads. Just from a.
I think if they can hang on to Grealish, and I think if they can make a couple of signings, I think they'll have a real big season next season with the fans back. Because Villa Park is a terrible place to go to when there's fans there. It's just a cauldron like Ellen Road.
What a beautiful stadium as well, though, lads. I was actually watching it, right, and at one point, even when Chelsea were 2-1 down, because that is one of the traditional stadiums. You know what I mean? Like, don't forget the FA Cup semi-final used to be played there.
Always there.
Yeah, always there. And I remember just sitting there, even though we were losing 2-1, and obviously I felt a bit better because I knew Harry Kane had sorted Chelsea out nicely. But I kind of looked around and I just said, that's a proper old school traditional English football stadium. You know what I mean? With real fans, real heat. Do you know what I mean? And it was nice to see, like, Villa. There's no reason Villa shouldn't be up in that territory where Leicester are if they could play their cards right, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, they've done really well recruitment-wise. Bertrand Traore coming in from Lyon. It's always a gamble, French football, what do you really make of it, you know what I mean? He's done exceptional. Gaz, he's come in on a number of good performances. Matty Cash from Nottingham Forest has been an absolute steal as well. Matt Targan on the other side. They all complement each other. Barkley kind of rekindled himself from yourselves.
Yeah,
know,
but he's gone shite now, so
he's out of the team, I think, just down to how well the other lads are doing. You know, McGinn, I think, is so underrated, undermentioned. You know, he cleans up so well and he goes forward as well with the ball. They all complement each other. As Niall said, if they can keep the group knit together and add a couple, you never know, like, you know.
Absolutely. Craig, move on to Liverpool, our beloved Liverpool. Happy today, obviously.
I rang you straight away. I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. I had heard whispers in the job about fucking Chelsea, the goal down. I said, look, it's not 90 minutes yet. I couldn't give a bollocks hit or two. You know, it's in play. Means absolutely nothing. I said, what's the score? And they're like 1-0 up. And then obviously I rang myself. I was like, right, here we go. Legged it home. You know, it was 1-0 and it was okay, comfortable, but it's still only 1-0 in the Premier League. You know, you can be as comfortable as you want. I just wanted that second one just to make sure. I agree with Dean. I thought Chelsea, I think, were coming for an equaliser regardless of their result. And then the Leicester game completely threw me off guard how that went, to be completely honest. I didn't see that coming at all.
I called it with Niall, didn't I? I said that Leicester were going to against Tottenham.
But when Mane got the second, I kind of just accepted that it was done and dusted. Like the season we've had on and off the pitch, it's an absolute bonus. And as Dean said rightfully as well, I'll celebrate a top four more than ever. Happily do so. I would no problem celebrating it like it's.
Did I give Liverpool one? I'm going to give Liverpool a compliment though, as a Chelsea fan. Like, and what I appreciate about Liverpool today is that, and I know the Chelsea fan base, trust me, are it's like, you know what? It's actually what Graham said. As much as Tottenham might be kind of 50-50 about how they feel about it, so are the Chelsea fans. You know what I mean? Like, I don't take any solace in the fact that we fucking had to look to our neighbours to help us out. You know what I mean? I can joke here, and I'm just glad that we're in top four. But good Lord, I don't. Now, I will also say by the same token, and I know this is going to be a different conversation for a different show, Niall, on the upper tier, of course. I don't expect that next week against Man City. That's a different game. Do you know what I mean? I really don't. But at the same time, I think Liverpool need to be commended on going out and fucking sorting their own future out. You know what I mean? Because their task was to fucking win. Your task was to win today, and you did that. Yeah. Our boys couldn't do that. Yeah. And you know, I'm kind of ashamed of that a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I'm a little bit disappointed in but it's more of a case I'm disappointed in individuals. But before I go on, can we also just congratulate Man City? Regardless, there's no Man City fans here. We have to congratulate them. I think Pep Guardiola's speech on Aguero when he was like crying almost on Aguero. Did anyone see that yet?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was quite emotional, I have to say, and I thought it was actually quite a nice touch. You know what I mean? He didn't give a shit that the cameras are on. I'm not usually a Pep Guardiola fan at all, because I hate Barcelona, Craig. Sorry about you, but I do.
Yeah, honestly, that's your opinion.
I do, and I hate Pep Guardiola. But I have to say it was the first kind of nice. It was a nice touch, I thought, of him. Yeah, and you knew it was real. Do you know what I mean?
I think he has been a bit hard on him. You know, as in a bit of tough love recently.
Yeah,
especially with the Panenka, which is understandable.
Yeah, but he said it. He said it like, you know, we can't replace him. And I was kind of going, well, why are you replacing him? Give him a fucking 2-year contract then.
I hope he has, and I can see the same effect of that Suarez Barcelona let him go. Look what he did. Let go to the title. Not surprised.
Like, he'd be silly. Imagine Chelsea couldn't sign anyone. Barca couldn't sign Aguero. Imagine like someone like a Chelsea or a fucking Liverpool or someone like that signed Aguero. You could see him being that 20-goal scorer again.
He doesn't need to move, or he just needs to supply. He's unbelievable. Like, you know, he's world class.
Like if Aguero was playing in that Chelsea team, you would see 3-4 nils every week. That's a fact.
If you want to play for him, you know what I mean?
Fucking Giroud. If Giroud was playing every week in that Chelsea team.
Oh, don't even start me, Dino. Don't even fucking start me. I know.
Who, I mean, obviously Tuchel now has a big week ahead of himself now to get ready for this Champions League final. I mean, the form has been indifferent between the loss in the FA Cup, then come back to the pressure cooker of facing Leicester and getting the job done. but then coming in today against Aston Villa and dropping the ball again, even though you got over the line with a bit of thanks to Spurs and stuff like that. But still, I mean, this is going to be a huge week in terms of Tuchel's management, isn't it? In terms of who
Kante is back. Kante is back on Wednesday. Mendy was taken off as a precaution.
Is there any update on Mendy's injury?
Yeah, Mendy apparently was taken off as a precaution. He's all right and he's good to play at the weekend. I made sure to check that one out, you know.
The worry about that game, Ian, though, is like De Bruyne and all's being rested for a while. I know we had a niggle injury. City went out today and put on a fucking 5-star performance, literally.
Yeah.
They win the league at trouncing Everton. Fourth Champions League final in the club's history. Like,
the only thing that I have in my back pocket is thinking, right, so Chelsea have the players that can match up with them. It depends on whether they step up on the day. And I think the one thing that Noel made a really good point on, I don't know whether it was on the show. It was on the show, wasn't it, Noel? It was the one that we've done with the road to the Champions League final.
Road to the Champions League final, which is releasing soon,
you made the point that, like, the ball is in Man City's court. We're going in as underdogs. Do you know what I mean? We're going in as fucking Jake Paul next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the Floyd Mayweather. We're expected to be battered all over the pitch. Tuchel has now shown, even with both, on 2 occasions in the last 8 weeks, that he can beat City with both teams. So City can say they played an underwhelming team the last time he lost, but so did Chelsea, to be fair. But when they played their full strength, he also lost. So I think this is a different game. It's a one-off game. You're not going to have the FA refs in there. There's not going to be any of this FA influence on it. Both teams are hated equally, I'd say, by UEFA.
By everyone.
It's game on. Personally, you know, I think Kante is key. Kante has to play. I would, you know, unfortunately, Jorginho, as much as we give out about him, he is an important component at the moment as to how we play. So, like, you got to have either one of Kovacic and Kante, because the problem with both of them is that they don't know how to set the tempo. If you have both of them, and I think I see Craig nodding there. So, Craig, you're definitely probably...
You can't have one without, you know, Kante needs Jorginho. You need to kind of facilitate each other, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And I think Jorginho is the one that can calm it and, you know, step back and take it away.
Kante break the play up and cover the areas where Jorginho will get it moving and kind of flowing.
It's like a priest and an altar boy, you know. You have to have both.
with a bit of none in there, like. But no, I mean, look, it's no, but look, Man City did win it, and you're right to ask that question, Dino. I'm not nervous about next week. I will be nervous on the day, of course. That's always the way. It's the nature of being a football fan, isn't it?
Do you think Giroud could have a big say though?
That was what I was going to bring up there. I do honestly believe that Dino was right, and I think that could be Giroud's send-off. And I think Giroud will have a big...
He's a big game player. He's a good striker. Like, he's very good.
He's a fucking phenomenal striker.
I know, Ian, that you want to see Werner, you want to see Havertz and all. I just have a feeling if Werner plays against that Man City back four, he's going to be isolated and he's not going to get anything. I feel like that's a game where you have to play Giroud. You have to play the big man up top, get the ball into him, hold him up. Giroud is so underrated. It's fucking scary.
Yeah. It's funny because if you talk to any team that doesn't have him, they would say we would take Giroud next year for the season, no bothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think when you're looking into a Champions League final and you see the form of Man City as well, it's really key that, like, you know, you see what's unfolding. You can't afford Timo Werner to have those chances and not put them away in a final like that. You need someone like Giroud who's going to be absolutely clinical. And that's vital, really. You know, I don't think...
I'd agree with that.
To have Timo Werner there get 3 or 4 chances is absolutely... You know, you just won't get away with that next week. You know, it'll be exposed.
Because the thing is, we destroyed Villa today. You know, this wasn't a thing of... This is where the frustration from Chelsea fans is that we should have had this locked up. Same with the FA Cup final.
100%. When Craig contacted me at half-time today, I said to Craig, it should be Chelsea should have been about 5 or 6-1 up. It was crazy.
Crazy. Chelsea should have a striker like a Drogba, you know, who only
Mason
needs
Mount
one,
was
or
shocking
one and two.
today as well, by the way. I have to say, Mason Mount today showed he needs to have a come to Jesus meeting with Thomas Tuchel as well today, Mason Mount. And a couple of YouTubers have been calling Mason Mount out, and rightly so. He was a May Feiner today. Do you know what I mean? There was a
Do you think he's afraid to get injured? Do you think he's afraid to
no,
get
but there was maybe so, Craig, but there was a couple of occasions today where there was lads free where it's a tap in. But he wanted to be the hero.
different.
He wanted to be the
Yeah.
hero. And if he wants to be a Frank Lampard, or if he wants to be a Steven Gerrard, or if he wants to be one of these guys, he has to remember the team comes first. That assist is worth its weight in
100%.
gold when it's getting you fucking and you know, and it's doing this smiling thing of going, Jesus, I nearly had it, lads. I nearly had it. And Ben Chilwell's going, what the fuck are you doing?
That you see that though, and that fucks you over even more. You know, that gets the fans even more. You know,
It does, because we are the fans. So it's like, yeah, listen, Mount, you deserve the credit, but don't be a fucking dickhead either. It's not all about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
and
kind
he was
of
shocking today, and Pulisic was shocked. I don't know what the future for Pulisic is, to be honest with you. I want to point this one out. I know they were saying he was linked to Liverpool and all that, and like, trust me, Klopp couldn't do anything with him either, because he's a playoff player. Do you know what I mean? I've said that before. He's injured for most of the start of the season, and then he comes into it near the end. Today, he was absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Anything he tried to do was just fucking... It was like looking at it. It was like looking at Eden Hazard after eating 20 burgers, to be honest.
I wonder if they didn't realise the magnitude of the game and they had one eye on the final, and the final was the big prize.
Some of the players did, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think it was, because as Craig alluded to, were they really going in 100% at times, or were they just being really cautious and careful?
That's a fair point.
Niall, I said that to you on the preview this morning. It was the first thing I said when we talked about Chelsea. I said,
I watched that as well today. Yeah, that's true.
There's definitely going to be players in that squad that are going to be looking at next week. And for me, that was a case that, because I think Pulisic is a wonderful player.
Oh, he is. I love him.
Unfortunately, he's injured too much.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
If Werner had more belief in himself, he'd probably score about 25 goals.
Yeah, definitely.
But they're definitely looking at next week and saying, like, they probably looked at next week going into today and saying, well, at least if we don't get it today, we have next week. Like, you can't have that. You can't have that philosophy, because with the players that they've brought in, the money that they spent, if Chelsea didn't get top four today and then lost next week and it was Europa League football, you know, everybody all of a sudden, the atmosphere turns. You're not getting Varane. You're not getting your Lukaku's. You know,
it's toxic. It turns toxic.
Exactly, it's a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean,
you're looking at us. Then you're kind of looking at maybe having to replace more players because they want to go. Do you know what I mean?
And not only that, you're looking at a situation where you're no longer complimenting Werner about his work rate. You're saying, listen, this is bullshit. You need to put the ball in the back of the net. You know what I mean?
Oh, well
can't live by this anymore, you know?
That was me today as well. Like, even today, and I have to say, I was like, right, I'm done sticking up for you now, son. You need to fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Want to step up.
Like, now you're breaking my heart here. I'm at the point of biting my nails again here. Where and like, that's Chelsea, you know, and that's football fans in general. I'm at the point where, like, now it's D-Day. You need to fucking do something for us. Now, in fairness, he did score a good quality goal. Offside again. The Azpilicueta, his arm was offside. It's just, I mean, that's fair. That's what we've come to live with. But I'm sure we'll do an episode on that on its own fucking right. I'm sure if it was Bruno Fernandes that had the arm offside, the goal would have been absolutely perfect. But
yeah, I think the problem is it's upsetting, but the problem is the one thing about VAR this year is there has been a consistency to it. Even if it's bad, they've made those calls consistently. You know,
that's arguable. That's arguable.
Well, it's, you know, they draw the line, and the line is the line. You know what I mean? Whether we agree that someone's arm is part of what makes up the player, whether it should be off the toe or the knee or whatever it is, there has been moments this season where those decisions have come in, and that's the way they've gone. As Liverpool fans, we know more than anyone. We've had the most VAR decisions go against us this season.
Oh yeah, no, and I agree. That's what I'm saying. But I look at Man United, like, and I'm sorry to call United out on it, but it's the truth, and it has to be fucking said. In a year where we had old fucking referees like Graham Paul come out and say basically the unknown team was Man United, that they were told by the FA, yeah, they get the rub of the green this week. You know what I mean? That's wrong. And then it just gets unnoticed. It's like, no big deal. That's just the way it was. It was Alex Ferguson. Grand. Like, we're talking about Super Leagues here, you know, and talking about it being corrupt and why Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea and the big teams want to get away from the FA. At the end of the day, and it looks like they are trying to change the whole algorithm of it, I suppose, and they're trying to make sure that it's almost like a committee, so to speak, like that lovely belt behind Graham there. And have a proper, you know, a member of each team. I think that would be better. But I think this idea of having one guy overseeing everything in the FA is wrong. Because, I mean, it is wrong. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, look, lads, it's been a pleasure having you on to round out the season. We've had some great episodes. We have a Monday mashup coming up tomorrow night where we're going to pick our combined 11 from all the lads who have been on the panel. And I'll just let you know there has been some very interesting picks have come through. It's not what people are expecting at all. We'll go through it tomorrow night with the panel, especially with one Mohammed Fitzpatrick there. He's definitely had some interesting picks have come in. We're also going to be doing a draw live on the show for the Euro, so everyone's going to get 2 teams, which will be very interesting. And we'll go through that as well. And also this week, remember, there's going to be a lot of content coming your way. We're going to be dropping the road to Porto from Chelsea and Man City's point of view. We're also going to be dropping the road to Gdansk with Villarreal that Craig came on and did an absolute belter of a show.
Come on, Villarreal.
And we're also going to have a belter of a show.
We're going to do the road to the Europa Conference League.
Yeah. We're also going to do a road to Gdansk with Man United that we did with Mark, and we're going to be dropping that. It's an absolute excellent episode as well. So lots and lots of content coming this week. As Dean said earlier on shows that we were on, we're going to be continuing with the transfer show as always. We're going to be doing weekly or bi-weekly roundups on the Euros. And Craig's also going to be coming on. We're going to be doing a new Euro show as well, where we look at the European leagues. And of course, we're going to be tracking everything from now all the way to the new season. This is going to be a belter of a transfer window. So many managers changing, so many players moving around. Mbappe 2021 is trending, you know.
Noel, sorry, just before
That's
we
not
go,
happening for you lads, by the way. I'm just saying. Like,
shut your mouth. Noel,
it's a pipe dream.
Just before we go, it's not anymore, baby. Just
It is a
before
pipe
we
dream.
go,
Start signing.
it was confirmed this evening after the game that Gini Wijnaldum is leaving, and you probably never even heard the upper tier, but if just somehow the stars align and you come across this video, Gini, absolutely love you. Even just for that one night, mate. We absolutely love you. And thanks for everything. Champion of everything.
Dane, what night was that?
Can I just say, if Fabrizio Romano is out there anywhere, just to let you know, Dino has an inside source to tell you that Kylian Mbappe is signing for Liverpool.
Yeah, me and his outfly like that.
hang on. We have Fabrizio Bourne up on top here, who knows everything that's going on in European football, and we have Fabrizio Fitzpatrick here, who's the one who started the trending of Mbappe 2021. So it's all good.
What are you going to do when he signs for Real Madrid and you just get disappointed? Don't put on
He's
your
coming
head.
to Liverpool, man.
We just
No, he's not. He's not. Like Liverpool are suddenly going to spend 200 million on Mbappe tomorrow.
No, Nike are going to spend 200 million on it.
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah. LeBron is. Yeah, I forgot that.
It's okay to be bitter, baby.
I'm not bitter.
LeBron's going to give him a round envelope.
We had our worst season ever, and
do you know what?
Still finished third.
I'm just going to laugh at you when you don't sign him.
I'm going to laugh at you next week when you finish trophyless.
No, you won't, because you don't want City to win that.
Now, before we go anywhere, there has to be a commitment on this panel here. Next Saturday evening after that final, people need to show up here for their reaction. They can't go missing. It doesn't matter how bad it goes.
Oh yeah, because Dino goes missing when he calls things out. Like the last time he told me that like Man City and Chelsea were going to get destroyed in the midfield. Yeah, raghead, I see you now. Now I see you, and I remember you. You told me. Listen,
That's twice.
Let me tell you something, Daddy. You told me
He's been
that
racist.
Jorginho and
Owen.
Kante weren't going to destroy Modric and Kroos. And guess what we did over 2 legs? Destroyed Modric and Kroos. And guess where Liverpool were?
Right away.
Oh, they were at home because they were destroyed by Modric and Kroos. But we did. Sorry.
Special mention.
Thirds all right,
Everton.
though.
And you didn't
Special
turn
mention
up
to
the week.
Everton putting
You
Redmond
didn't
away
turn up.
jersey.
You didn't turn up.
Fortunately, I'm a frontline hero, mate. I work 12 hours a day.
So
every
am
day. And you bollocks.
I am.
And I'm a hero of frontline heroes, so fair play to you. Anyway, lads, pleasure as always. Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube for all the episodes. Some great stuff over there. We have this.
Genie Wijnaldum. Now join me.
Kylian Mbappe.
That could be the new chant. You know where you heard it. Also, anchor for audio
I
versions of
started
the
it for
show.
Liverpool fans. Kylian Mbappe, Liverpool 2021.
I'm going to
I'd
check
like
your
to see
Twitter
it.
later. You better get it trending.
Yeah.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you'd like to contact the show. This has been your final day reaction, and what a day it was. Cheers, lads. Appreciate it.